Russian soldiers prepare the attack. When the ammunition is loaded, they head on the mission. The objective is to shell Ukrainian city. When Russian tank reaches its destination, it loads a high explosive shell and opens fire. Crew reloads and continues firing. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian T-64 was operating in the same area. Ukrainian tank moves in and spots a Russian T-90. Crew loads the ammunition and takes a shot. A direct hit from Ukrainian tank causes a massive detonation. Later, one of Russian soldiers showed the remains of the tank. The turret went flying in the sky and landed few meters away, and this tank was sent to strike Ukrainian positions. A Mavic drone spots the target. Ukrainian drone operators use an FPV drone to stop Russian tank. After the first hit, the tank stops. Another FPV drone was sent to completely finish it off. Drone operator takes his time and flies the drone into open hatch. As the result, the ammunition detonates, tearing Russian tank apart. A few minutes later, the fire spreads and the tank explodes the second time. But this is not how the story ends. A few days later, Russian forces sent another tank in the same area. Russian forces wanted to capture Ukrainian trenches with just few soldiers. Tank drives to Ukrainian tree line and Russian soldiers quickly jump off. Meanwhile, an FPV drone was already closing in on its target. Russian soldiers realize that they can't stay still. They rush to take cover in the tree line. Meanwhile, Russian tank begins to retreat. Russians use the same path to avoid hitting a mine, but this allowed Ukrainian drones to catch up and strike their target. Drone strikes the engine section, but the armor withstands the damage. The tank continues moving forward and meets its comrade, which was destroyed a few days ago. Ukrainian drone operators from different units cooperate and strike Russian tank with FPV drones one after another. After this hit, the damage was unbearable. As the result, the crew abandons their tank just seconds before another FPV strikes. Drone strikes into open hatch, causing massive detonation of the ammunition. And here a Russian tank was abandoned. An FPV drone was sent to finish it off. Precise hit from the FPV drone causes enormous detonation. The explosion shatters metal parts across the field. As the result, Russian tank is completely vanished. A Russian T-72 tank was sent to shell the position of Ukrainian soldiers. After completing the mission, Russian tank retreats, but it was already too late. A Ukrainian ATGM group uses Javelin and tracks the movement of Russian tank. When Russian tank drives into open area, the Javelin locks on target. Ukrainian soldier opens fire.
Сейчас пизда ему, сейчас пизда, я прям, блядь, заебаю, я ее делюсь. Yes!
Javelin flies over 2 kilometers and strikes the top of Russian tank. As the result, the ammunition detonates, sending the turret flying in the sky.
Был танк и нет танка.
Russian soldiers prepare to attack. They jump in their tank and head on a mission. When they reach Ukrainian town, they immediately get spotted by a Mavic drone. Ukrainian drone operators deploy an FPV drone to stop Russian tank. First drone hits the front armor plate, and just few seconds later, the second drone hits the rear. The crew realizes that this area is too dangerous and leaves their tank on the road. Another FPV drone was sent to take it out. Drone operator finds a weak spot in the armor and strikes. The ammunition detonates and sends the turret flying. Nothing but a bunch of burning scrap is left. These two Russian tanks were stuck in the mud. Russian forces used excavators to dig them up. Ukrainian intelligence drone reports the coordinates to HIMARS operator, and the shot is fired. The first missile missed. HIMARS fires another one. The second missile lands close and sets one of the tanks on fire. Meanwhile, a long-range FPV drones join the battle and strike the remaining tank. First drone strikes the top of the turret, setting it on fire. The second drone strikes the same place, completely finishing the remaining tank. A Russian T-80 was sent on a mission. The objective is to shell positions of Ukrainian soldiers and retreat. After striking the position, Russian tank turns around and starts leaving the battlefield. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian FPV drone was already flying above. Drone operator takes his time and strikes the target. Drone penetrates the thin armor, causing massive detonation. The mission of Russian tankers ends as quickly as it started. A column of Russian tanks and armored vehicles is deployed on assault. Russian armored group drives past their burnt vehicles. As soon as the column drives in the village, FPV drone strikes the head tank. Tank loses control and drives into a pit. Ukrainian M777 receives the coordinates and opens fire at motionless target. After few precise hits on the BMPs, an FPV drone is sent to strike the tank. Drone hits the back of the turret, setting the ammunition on fire. A Russian tank was spotted operating in one of Ukrainian villages. An FPV drone was sent to strike the tank. First drone strikes the engine, causing massive damage. A few seconds later, a second drone strikes the back of the turret. As the result, the turret starts spinning uncontrollably. The crew quickly abandons their tank and flees. Meanwhile, another FPV drone arrives to deliver the final strike. Drone strikes the weak spot. As the result, the ammunition starts burning. Russian T-90 burns to the ground. During an assault on Ukrainian position, Russian T-80 drives over anti-tank mine. An FPV drone was sent to leave it no chance to escape. Drone operator takes his time and strikes the weak spot. The detonation tears Russian tank apart. Now it is completely vanished. Only a bunch of small burning parts are left. A Russian tank equipped with barn protection was deployed on assault mission. Ukrainian forces sent FPV drone to destroy the target, and then this happened. The ammunition detonates, sending metal pieces flying across the field. This Russian tank was coming back from assault mission. Crew didn't notice a bunch of anti-tank mines laying on the road, so as the result, this happens. Explosion shatters Russian tank into small pieces. A Russian T-80 tank was sent to deliver soldiers to the front line. Ukrainian Mavic spots the target. An FPV drone is used to strike Russian tank. Drone hits the engine, setting it on fire. Russian soldiers quickly jump off the burning tank and run in different directions. Meanwhile, another FPV drone strikes the tank. The ammunition is on fire. Russian tank will burn to the ashes. After a failed assault, this tank was abandoned. Ukrainian drone operators sent an FPV drone to finish the target. Drone hits the back of the turret, setting the ammunition on fire. A few minutes later, it detonated. As the result, the turret was laying near the engine and only a small crater was left. This Russian tank was stopped by Ukrainian forces. A Mavic drone flies over and drops the grenade directly in the hatch. The first grenade goes off, but it's not enough. Ukrainian drone drops the second one. Second grenade damages the fuel tanks. The third grenade is dropped to set the fuel on fire. Third grenade did its job. Later, the fire only intensifies and burns Russian tank to the ground. In the nearby area, more tanks were left. Ukrainian Mavic drone flies over and drops the grenade into open hatch. Russian tank starts burning, and when the fire reaches the ammunition, this happens. The explosion tears Russian tank apart. Turret was sent flying in the sky. Explosion was so big that even a nearby tank started burning. A Russian T-80 tank was on its routine mission. It was coming back from the front line. But what Russian tankers didn't know is that an FPV drone was already following them. The drone operator takes his time and pilots the drone into the weak spot. Ammunition detonates right away, sending metal parts flying across the road. Russian tank is now completely vanished.